Welcome back to the Drunken Zombies Podcast. I'm Adrian, and as always, I'm ready for another dose of zombie mayhem.
And I'm Julia, ready to, I guess dive into the chilling world of Frozen Dead with you.
Get ready for a story that takes global warming to a whole new brain-eating level. So imagine this, a desolate research station in the Arctic, a brilliant climatologist named Dr. Anya Petrova, and an ancient ice core she really shouldn't have opened. What could possibly go wrong, right?
That's the question, isn't it? We all know those classic horror movie tropes, curiosity killed the cat, and opening mysterious ancient artifacts is usually a bad idea. But there's something about the Arctic setting that makes this even more unsettling.
It's that sense of isolation, the vastness of the landscape, and the unforgiving cold. It's like nature itself is a character in this story, a force to be reckoned with.
And speaking of forces to be reckoned with, this isn't your typical zombie virus. This thing is ancient as old as the ice itself. And get this, it actually thrives on melting ice becoming more potent as the ice melts around it.
That's a terrifying twist on the climate crisis, isn't it? It's like the story is taking our real-world anxieties about global warming and turning them into a literal monster.
Exactly. It's not just about the infected themselves, it's about the environment they inhabit and how their very existence is intertwined with the melting ice. It makes you think about the interconnectedness of everything, how even something as seemingly isolated as an Arctic research station can be a microcosm of the larger world.
Okay, so Anya cracks open this ice core, and she finds these microscopic, slithering things inside. I'm getting chills just thinking about it.
It's that classic horror movie moment, isn't it? The moment you realize something is terribly wrong, and from there, things go south fast.
The glacier starts cracking, bleeding this strange red substance, and then silence. The research outpost goes completely dark, except for these seriously unhuman sounds.
The story does a great job of building suspense. You can almost feel the isolation and dread closing in on the characters as they realize they're trapped with something unknown and terrifying.
And trapped they are. Anya and the other scientists are now fighting for their lives, trying to understand what they're up against.
They make their way to the armory, hoping to find weapons to defend themselves. But, as you can probably guess, not everyone makes it out alive.
This is where the story really starts to ramp up the action. We see Anya's transformation from a scientist into a survivor, forced to confront this horrifying new reality.
She barely escapes with another scientist named Nadia just as the station is overrun by these creatures. Fast, strong, and driven by an insatiable hunger. Classic zombies, but with this terrifying new twist.
It's interesting how the story blends familiar zombie tropes with fresh, unsettling elements. The connection to the melting ice, the strange red substance, those unhuman sounds, it all adds up to create something truly unique and terrifying.
Right. So they manage to escape on an abandoned icebreaker captained by this mysterious figure named Cal, and they head south desperate for answers and maybe even a cure. But the situation is getting worse everywhere. They realize this isn't just an isolated incident, it's a global pandemic.
It's like the world is unraveling around them and they're caught in the middle of it. And that sense of urgency, that feeling that nowhere is safe, really adds to the tension.
They end up having to go inland, scavenging to survive. They encounter other survivors, some helpful, some hostile, and they even run into a group of cultists who believe that the infected carry some kind of sacred flame.
Talk about a curveball. What's the deal with these cultists? What's their interpretation of this whole zombie apocalypse?
It's a fascinating element, isn't it? It shows how, in the face of chaos and fear, people will often turn to extreme beliefs to try and make sense of the world. It makes you think about the different ways people cope with the unimaginable.
And it adds a whole new layer of danger to the story. Now, Anya and her group aren't just fighting zombies. They're navigating the complexities of human nature in a world gone mad.
And as if things weren't bad enough, the virus mutates. They find infected frozen solid in this advancing ice storm, but they thaw incredibly fast.
Talk about adaptable. This is where the story takes another terrifying turn. This new strain of the virus isn't just surviving the cold, it's thriving in it. It can lie dormant in the ice, waiting to be unleashed. It's a chilling reminder of the resilience of nature, how it can adapt and evolve in unexpected ways.
And how little control we might actually have over these forces, even when we think we've got them figured out.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that sense of uncertainty, of constantly being one step behind, is what makes this story so gripping.
Meanwhile, Tanaka, the scientist in the group, becomes obsessed with finding a cure. He's convinced that the answer lies at an old military bioresearch compound.
Ah, the classic mad scientist trope. But in this apocalyptic setting, can you really blame him for wanting to find a solution?
It's a question of ethics, isn't it? How far is too far in the pursuit of knowledge? And what are the potential consequences of tampering with forces we might not fully understand?
So how do they even get into this heavily guarded compound?
They cook up a wild diversion using a tricked-out semi-trailer. Anya's behind the wheel blasting opera music to attract the infected. It's a scene straight out of a zombie action movie.
Talk about resourceful. They're using whatever they can find to survive, turning junk into weapons and vehicles. It's a testament to human ingenuity, even in the face of overwhelming odds.
They manage to get inside the compound, but Tanaka, well, he goes rogue. He develops a device that allows him to actually control the infected.
Oh no, this doesn't sound good. It's like he's taken this desperate search for a cure and turned it into something darker.
And just when you think it can't get any more twisted, there's a young girl who's immune to the virus. But when Tanaka uses his device on her, she becomes something new, something far worse.
So the hope for a cure, the symbol of immunity, is now the potential source of even greater destruction.
And that's where the first part of the story leaves us, hanging on a cliffhanger, wondering what this new threat means for Anya, her group, and the future of humanity itself.
It's a chilling ending for sure, and it raises a lot of questions about the nature of control, the unintended consequences of our actions, and the limits of scientific ambition. But we'll have to wait for the next part to see how it all unfolds. We'll be back soon for more on the thrilling story of Frozen Dead. Don't forget to rate and follow the Drunken Zombies Podcast for more tales of brains and mayhem. Until next time, sleep tight and don't let the Frozen Dead bite. We're back with more Frozen Dead, and honestly, I'm still reeling from that cliffhanger ending.
That twist with the girl is definitely a game changer. It flips the whole narrative on its head.
It really makes you question Tanaka's motivations, doesn't it?
Yeah.
At what point does the pursuit of knowledge cross the line into reckless obsession?
Well, he was facing a global pandemic with a terrifying new twist. A zombie virus that literally feeds on melting ice. Maybe that kind of pressure can push someone to extremes.
It's easy to judge from our comfortable chairs, right?
Yeah.
But imagine the weight of the world on your shoulders. The knowledge that your actions could determine the fate of humanity. It's got to do something to your psyche.
Speaking of psychological burdens, let's talk about Anya for a moment. She carries a lot of guilt for opening that ice core in the first place. Do you think she's right to blame herself?
I think her guilt is a reflection of a larger theme in the story. The idea that humanity often meddles with forces we don't fully understand. It's that age-old question, just because we can, does it mean we should?
And it's not just Anya who's grappling with these moral dilemmas. Captain Cal, the grizzled icebreaker captain, seems haunted by his past. He's seen too much death, too much destruction.
Cal embodies that sense of weary cynicism that can come with surviving in a broken world. He's lost faith in humanity, yet he still finds himself trying to protect the few people he cares about.
It's that internal conflict that makes him such a compelling character, right? He's caught between his desire to isolate himself from the world and his instinct to help others.
And then there's Nadia, the tech whiz.
Yeah.
She brings a different kind of strength to the group, a kind of resourceful optimism, even in the darkest of times.
Nadia represents the resilience of the human spirit. She's not just surviving. She's using her skills to adapt and overcome challenges. She's a reminder that even in the face of apocalypse, human ingenuity can shine through.
Her character also highlights the importance of STEM skills in a crisis, doesn't it? Think about how many times her technical knowledge has saved them.
But back to those cultists for a second. I'm still fascinated by their belief that the infected carry some kind of sacred flame. What do you make of that?
It's a reminder that even in a world overrun by zombies, people are still searching for meaning, for something to believe in. The cultists represent that human need to find purpose, even in the most horrific situations.
And their belief in the sacred flame actually mirrors Tanaka's obsession with finding a cure in a way. Both are driven by a kind of faith, a belief that they hold the key to salvation, even if it means sacrificing others.
It's like they're all looking for answers in different ways, trying to make sense of this chaos.
But let's not forget the stars of the show, the frozen zombies themselves. What sets them apart from the typical brain-eating horde?
Well, for starters, they're not your slow, shambling zombies. These are fast, aggressive, and driven by a primal hunger that's amplified by the melting ice.
The way they freeze and thaw, lying dormant until the ice melts around them. It's a chilling reminder of how climate change can have unintended consequences.
They're like a physical manifestation of our anxieties about global warming, a symbol of the destructive forces we might be unleashing upon the world.
And the fact that they're constantly evolving, becoming more organized and strategic as the virus mutates, makes them even more terrifying.
It's like they're adapting to their environment, learning from their encounters with humans. And with Tanaka's device now in the picture, who knows what they're capable of?
That ending with the girl leading the Supercharged infected. It's a chilling image. What do you think the author's trying to say with that?
I think it's a warning about the potential for even the most vulnerable among us to be corrupted by forces beyond our control. It's a reminder that in the face of such overwhelming chaos, no one is safe.
And the fact that it's a child leading this new wave of terror adds a whole other layer of tragedy and horror. It's like the story is saying that even innocence can be twisted, that hope itself can be weaponized.
It's a bleak outlook for sure. But even in the darkness, there are glimmers of hope. Anya, Cal, and Nadia are still fighting, still searching for a way to stop this new threat.
They represent the indomitable spirit of humanity, the refusal to give up even when faced with impossible odds.
It's that persistence, that determination to survive that ultimately keeps us engaged in the story. We want to believe that even in the face of a zombie apocalypse, there's still a chance for a better future.
And that's a perfect place to pause for now. We'll be back soon to finish up this chilling tale and explore what lessons we can learn from the world of Frozen Dead.
We're back for the final chapter of Frozen Dead. And honestly, I'm still trying to process that ending.
That image of the girl leading the supercharged infected, it's just so haunting. It's like the story is saying that even in the face of extinction, humanity can't escape its own destructive tendencies.
It's a powerful message, isn't it? We think we're fighting this external threat, these terrifying zombies. But the real danger might be lurking within ourselves all along.
And Tanaka's character really embodies that idea. He's so fixated on finding a cure, on controlling the virus, that he ends up creating something far worse.
His story is a cautionary tale about the dangers of unchecked ambition, of letting the pursuit of knowledge blind you to the potential consequences.
It makes you think about those classic mad scientist stories, doesn't it? There's always a sense of hubris, a belief that they can control forces beyond their comprehension. And it usually ends in disaster.
But in a way, Tanaka's obsession is also a reflection of the desperation of the situation. He's facing a global pandemic, a world on the brink of collapse. Can we really blame him for wanting to find a solution, even if it means taking risks?
It's a tough question, and I think the story is intentionally leaving that moral gray area open for interpretation. It's not about judging Tanaka's actions, but rather understanding the complex factors that might lead someone down that path.
And it's not just Tanaka. Think about the choices Anya and the others are forced to make throughout the story. They're constantly facing impossible dilemmas, weighing the survival of the few against the potential destruction of the many.
The story doesn't shy away from the harsh realities of survival in a world gone mad. It's a reminder that sometimes there are no easy answers, no clear-cut right or wrong choices.
And that's what makes Frozen Dead so compelling. It's not just a zombie thriller, it's an exploration of human nature under extreme pressure. It asks us to consider what we would do, what choices we would make if faced with similar circumstances.
It also makes us question our own relationship with the natural world, doesn't it? These zombies aren't just mindless monsters. They're a symptom of a planet in distress, a manifestation of our own disregard for the environment.
The way they thrive on melting ice, the strange red substance that oozes from the glacier, it's all symbolic of the interconnectedness of everything, the idea that we can't separate ourselves from the consequences of our actions.
And that ending with the girl leading the supercharged infected, it's a terrifying vision of what could happen if we continue down this path of environmental destruction.
It's like the story is saying that nature will find a way to fight back, to adapt and evolve in ways we can't even imagine. And it might not be pretty.
But amidst all this darkness, there's still a flicker of hope. Anya, Cal, and Nadia are still fighting, still searching for a way to stop this new threat.
They represent the resilience of the human spirit, the refusal to give up even when the odds seem insurmountable. And I think that's what ultimately keeps us engaged in this story.
We want to believe that even in the face of a zombie apocalypse, there's still a chance for redemption, for a better future.
And maybe that's the takeaway from Frozen Dead. It's not just about the horrors we face, but about our capacity for hope, for courage, for compassion, even in the darkest of times.
It's a reminder that even when the world seems to be falling apart, we still have the power to make choices, to fight for what we believe in, and to strive for a better tomorrow.
Frozen Dead is a wild ride, a story that chills you to the bone, while also prompting you to think about the choices we make as individuals and as a society. It's a reminder that the monsters we create are often reflections of our own fears and failings. And it's a call to action, a challenge to find a better way forward before it's too late.
Well, that's it for Frozen Dead, a story that stays with you long after you finish reading it, leaving you with a lingering sense of unease, but also a renewed appreciation for the fragility of our world and the importance of fighting for what we believe in.
Don't forget to rate and follow the Drunken Zombies podcast for more tales of brains and mayhem. Until next time, sleep tight and don't let the frozen dead bite.